Chong Wei Li is furious.
He's upset. 100%.
Oh, how the fuck are you guys doing? Welcome into a brand new edition of Ass Kick Picks, episode 90 here on a Friday morning. Welcome in, everyone. I am D-Rock, and joining me, as always, from the beautiful state of South Carolina, the legend Joey D. Joe, how you feeling today, kid?
Night. Doing good. I'll be waking up early to watch One Friday Fights 57 tomorrow. And then we also got some BKFC. I think they're up to 59 tomorrow night. John Dodson was dressed as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So we're in for an interesting weekend. We definitely are.
To say the least, buddy. We will have boots on the ground in Atlantic City. We'll be there. We'll touch on. I got a lot of plays on this card. Interesting card. I didn't diving into it a little bit. I didn't think it was all that bad. That some of the fights did get canceled, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be a really good time. We'll have preview and plays for Atlantic City. We'll recap UFC Vegas 89, big win for Rose Namajunas. We'll talk about that. And we got some big news. UFC Saudi Arabia card was announced, so we'll talk about that towards the end of the show as well. But Joe, let's talk about last week, UFC Vegas 89, back at the Apex. Rose Namajunas gets the unanimous decision win. I know a lot of people thought it was close, but I thought it was pretty easy to score. I thought Rose won pretty decisively.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of awkward when it got to that fifth round, very evenly matched as it was there. Amanda Ribas, she had to kind of turn it on a lot earlier to be in contention for that, because I thought Judge Rose had full control of the judges by that point. So she was better in the stand-up, and with a couple of back and forth exchanges with the grappling. Yeah, Rose wasn't losing that fight when it got to that point. She needed to finish Ribas, and I don't think she had enough in the gas tank to get it done. And, she didn't, and Rose wound up winning. And, I think the UFC is a fan of that, unfortunately. I know we all like Amanda Ribas. We're fans of her personality, and her as an athlete. But, the UFC could do a lot more with Rose now, the fact that she come ahead and get a win at the 125-pound division.
Yeah, she did call out maybe fighting the winner of this or maybe the loser. I think if Manuel Fiore wins this weekend, I don't see Rose getting another shot at it. Maybe she'll fight Aaron next, or Macy Barber. She did call out, was one of the names as well. So, yeah, she's definitely a contender in that flyweight division. I don't think Amanda Ribas's stock fell all that much, if I'm being honest. I did think some of her takedowns were effective, but Rose was even better. She flipped every takedown. She got position. Fifth round was kind of hard. It always felt like I could go to the bathroom during this fight, and I really won't miss much, unfortunately. I thought technique-wise, it was a little sloppy from Amanda Ribas, meaning that there was too many spinning back fists. There was too many spinnings. At first, it was like, okay, maybe you could catch her, surprise her, but at a certain point, she was just swinging at nothing. And even Pat Barry, you're not going to touch Rose at that point. So even Pat Barry was just like, she's just swinging at air. So, yeah, you're right. Fifth round, no one really had the urge, it felt like, to finish the fight. So that's kind of going based on what you were saying.
Ribas fell in love with that from her previous fights, getting finishes with those type of spinning attacks. And like I said, Rose saw it a mile away. She could sense that was coming and get out of the way. And it was rather slow. I don't know what it was.
It looked sloppy too, Joe.
Yeah, maybe it was just the grind of the fight itself, and as it got later, it kind of wore on both fighters. But man, maybe something was in the air over there in Vegas.
What do you think moving forward now? Because big win for Rose in the flyweight division. She's ranked number 7. Granted, she's only had 2 fights in the division, but she called out Macy Barber. She called out both fighters that are fighting this week in AC. Give me your thoughts, because if Manuel Fiore does win, do you think Rose gets that fight back?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Now with Rose breaking into the top 10, I think, like I said, the UFC could do what they want. They could have her fight Macy Barber, but we talked about it last episode. We don't necessarily think we want to kill off a star that Macy Barber could be. Even though Rose is a name, whoever comes out victorious, so that could possibly, you could say, earns a title shot. It's just the way that the division's kind of playing out is why that maybe Rose gets that kind of treatment. But Yeah, the loser of Manifiero and Aaron Blanchfield is definitely viable. And I mean, you could even argue the loser of Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko title.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's any history there. I don't think Alexa Grasso has fought Rose in the past. I don't
No.
think she has. There always been opposite divisions. So I mean, it's just something that they could do. Like I said, Rose has got a name and she's a player, and so they could kind of just do what they want with her. But we said we don't want to see her necessarily fight Macy Barber, nor do we want to see her necessarily fight Natalia Silva. That would also be fighting back.
Yeah.
Now that she
Yeah.
away.
And I don't think Rose is actually going to do that at this stage of her career. You figure all the women that she's calling out are top level fighters that are going to be either one or two fights away from the belt, which I do think, unfortunately, for some women, Rose gets that treatment because she's a two-time champion. Excuse me. So
Yeah,
big. Yeah, 100% she's earned it. And the company likes her and she likes the company. So they get along hand in hand. But yeah, big win for Rose Namajunas. Shout out her. Let's go to the co-main. Carl Williams gets the unanimous decision win over Justin Tafa. You know, he was not hurt, but he was definitely in trouble, I would say, early on. And then he figured out, I'm just going to wrestle with this. I'm not going to stand and bang with Justin Tafa. But yeah, big win for Carl Williams. He keeps it rolling.
Yeah, it kind of dragged on a little bit yet again. I think the event lost steam as it got to the main event, unfortunately, because it started off hot. The main card started up, and there was a bunch of finishes going on, and we'll get to that next. But Carl Williams is a player. He knew what to do in that situation. Justin Tafa just going to throw bombs at you. His biggest threat coming in the first round, but it's not like he can't knock you out in the second or third with those meat hooks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just launching them at you. So yeah, Carl Williams knew his path of least resistance and played his game. I think he could stand with the majority of the division if he wants to, but the fact that he has that wrestling in his back pocket, I don't blame the man for utilizing it.
Yeah, not at all. So big win for Carl Williams in that heavyweight division. Edmund Shabazian gets back on track. He gets the knockout first round, 4 minutes, 33 seconds in against AJ Dobson. And, I thought AJ Dobson actually stung him early in the fight. And he just, I don't know, he just, for whatever reason, just lost his mojo or he lost his gas tank. And then here comes Edmund Shabazian and he gets back in the winning column. So big win for him. He gets the knockout in round 1.
Yeah, he looked good after dealing with the storm that AJ threw at him. And I think AJ Dobson did get cut, actually. I don't know if you saw that. I think he got cut from the UFC. Surprisingly so, because I think he was on a 2-fight winning streak. He won back-to-back fights prior to that one. He just had one, but he probably had that 4-fight contract, and he lost 3 out of his 4. So, I guess, unfortunately, AJ Dobson wasn't necessarily good to begin with. And Edmund, he was basically... I don't know how to take Edmund. I feel like sometimes he looks really good and other times he doesn't at all. And the fact that he kind of almost got, taken out by AJ, I don't know. It may say a lot about Edmund in terms of his level. He might not really be all cracked up what we thought he would be and what his nickname says. And I don't know if he's still in the same camp with like Edmund Tavarian. That's Ronda Rousey's old coach. If he's still over there, he might need to switch camps, to be completely honest. That could maybe rejuvenate Edmund's career, to be completely honest, because he's still young. He's got a 13-4 record, so most of those losses coming as of late with his previous 5 fights. So, yeah, the fact that he weathered the storm and got past that may look to things to come for him. The fact that he can overcome that, but man, he needs to do well in his next matchup, and he's definitely going to get a step in competition. So.
Yeah, very well put, Joe. Edmund Shabazian gets back on track in that middleweight division. Peyton fucking Talbot. This kid is legit. Joe, I don't know what you call the celebration, but man, this kid is legit. And Cameron Saman, I mean, he's no slouch either. This guy, the South African, could fucking bang. And he was taking a bunch of shots until he got knocked out early second round. That first round, he put a stamp on him, and that pressure that he puts on every opponent, he just wants to stand and bang with you. And man, put a rocket ship to this guy, because the takeoff is going quick with this kid. I don't know what you do with him. I don't know if you give him a top 15 guy already, but man, this kid is not far away.
Nah, man. I think Brad Katona just got announced for a fight. I honestly, prior to this, I was thinking maybe you face off against a tough winner there and see how far Peyton Talbot has come. Because I mean, Cameron Saman could be arguably done better than Brad Katona in that regards, or what we thought he could have been. And yeah, Cameron Saman's game, but man, those two tough losses back to back. I gotta say that's definitely gonna undefeated fighter, undefeated prospect. That puts a big dent into what we thought he could have been. And Peyton Talbot, man, I think he's a character, man. I mean, if you're been active on,
he's so funny.
Yeah, he's a character, man. If you know all the antics that have been going on behind the scenes, like he's kind of like one in a million, man. And but I mean, the proof's in the pudding. The dude comes out and bangs, and he's explosive. He's got a lot of technique, and I mean, he could fight anyone in front of him. And I don't think a lot of people that are in front of him are going to want to fight him. I mean, Garrett Armfield did get a win over Brad Katona. They're kind of like right there. If you want him to jump up that high, I would get him in the top 25. I'm thinking something like that. That's why I'm calling out those names. But that knee that crowd kind of reminiscent to the knee that we saw at 299 between Sean O'Malley and Cheetah Vera. So it was loud. It was like the crack of a bat.
Garrett Armfield just got a fight too, so we'll talk about that during the news segment. But yeah, I mean, you definitely put him in the top 25, top 20 because I think he's legit. I think his striking. I don't like the comparison of him and Sean O'Malley. I get it with the hair and being so authentic and
that's
being
not what
himself.
I was going for.
I know. I've heard it though. Not you. I've heard it though through MMA Twitter and just people online. They try to compare him, but I don't think, like, I know fans love to create fights and scenarios in our head, but I feel like if those two fought, it wouldn't have been a fun fight. I truly don't. I feel like Sean O'Malley's going to keep the distance a little bit, and Peyton Talbot's just going to pressure you. And
he's not ready for that yet.
No, of course not. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people just want to hype this kid up and already put him up there. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's going to be as good of a fight as most people think. But yeah, I think the kid's legit. I think he's 1 or 2 fights away from having a top 15 fight. I truly believe that. So
exactly. Yeah.
And you get $50K performance of the night as well. Someone who didn't get a performance of the night, in which I thought he should have, Youssef Zallah 2.0, second time in the UFC. What a fucking submission win over Billy Q, man. This was one of the worst performances I've seen from Billy Q. Did not look good from the jump. His cardio, his striking just did not look good. And then when he got the back, it was just done. So yeah, shout out Youssef Zallah. He looked really fucking good, but bad loss for Billy Q.
Yeah, Father Time's undefeated. I think age is rearing its ugly head with Billy Q. A couple of tough losses. Again, KO'd isn't really necessarily good for you. I mean, it's not good for anybody. It's not necessarily. It isn't. It isn't good for anybody. So I don't know. He's now ranked, I'm seeing, around the 25. Youssef Zalal, they could do a lot. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Maybe comes out and fights the winner of the fight that we got going on in AC between Jamal Emmers and Nate Landwehr. I mean, that's something that both guys are on some win streaks. So, I mean, Nate kind of needs it more. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but if Jamal Emmers does come out victorious, then they're both going to be on streaks, and that can kind of get them into the top 15. So.
Yeah. Tough night for the tough fighters. Get it. Kurt Hollabaugh and Cody Gibson, both losers against Miles Jones and Trey Ogden. Veterans won in that one as well. But, Joe, I think I'm burying the lead here. Igor Severo with the bite of the night. I mean,
Lima got the bonus.
Chill. I mean, also, he got a tattoo immediately. Like, did he get checked out? Like, did he clean it before he got a tattoo? Like,
yeah, I was joking.
I don't know.
Baby shot, but
yeah, no, I mean, that shit was insane. And Joe, just to touch on the fight real quick, I don't even know why he bit him. He was winning the fight.
I think so too, actually.
The Nevada State Athletic Commission, they withheld his purse. He was immediately cut from the UFC, rightfully so, in his debut. You just can't bite anyone, kid.
No, it's ridiculous. And Lima did come in his defense. He said that he shouldn't have necessarily lost his job or as a matter of fact, very well may have lost his career because of that incident. And then a lot of people I've seen that just pay him his measly $10,000 because he probably has nothing, and at least he could do is just like feed his family and like pay some bills and stuff like that. Whoever he's got going on in
Yeah,
Brazil,
but
I know you
you
reap what
bit
you sow.
someone.
You reap what
Yeah.
you sow.
Regardless if it's 10,000 or 20,000, you bit someone. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I don't think he deserved it, if I'm being honest. Call me a hard ass, but I don't think he deserved it. I do think he deserved to be cut. Hey, Mike Tyson even got a fucking warning. This kid got no warning. First time
He
Mike
got cut,
Tyson
lost
missed
his
him.
career.
But
That's
yeah,
Mike
I
Tyson.
mean, yeah, you can't do it. Joe, if I gave you over under 5.5 years and I gave you 100-1 odds over under 5.5 years again, do you think we see this again?
Do
Would
we
you
see
take
another
that
fight?
bet?
No. So
Yeah.
now because of the hammer that was put down on him, you're definitely not going to see any biting happening in the octagon or in any promotion for that matter. Because I think, it's like the Jones effect. Like all is going to lead to what the UFC decided to do with Igor Severino. So if any promotion has to go through this altercation, they're going to follow suit and probably not pay him and cut him and probably, I don't know if it's like any type of like legal charges past that, but just like kind of blacklist that individual. And that's what's happening. That's going to happen to Severino. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he very well may have a hard time finding competition in Brazil, like
100%.
Shuto or anything along those lines.
Or even getting amateur fights at this point. Fuck going pro and like pro
No,
fights.
yeah, I think once you go pro, you can't go back to being an amateur. So he's shot.
Okay. Regardless, though, finding fights is going to be hard moving forward, or even just finding a job. But yeah, I would have taken that bet. But after this and after the extreme hammer that rightfully so got put down on Igor, I wouldn't take this bet either. But overall, besides that, a very good card. Not profitable for me. 3-4, a little lost, down 1 unit on the night. We get there with Rose on the straight up money line, but we don't get there on the under. It goes all 5 rounds. She didn't get her inside the distance. Carl Williams gets the big win. What happened?
No, I was saying, well, I made up for that. I got the plus 250 on her winning via decision.
Hell yeah.
And Carl Williams was the only other right for me.
Yeah, I took a shot on AJ Dobson. That got wrong. I got that wrong. Peyton Talbot, minus 144. I do not think we'll see that again. No. And then Billy Q, he fucked me as well. So little loss, but not too bad. How did you do?
Yeah, 2-4 for the picks. 1-1 in the leans because I did lean with Talbot. And then I did go 0-1 with my parlay, the first time in about a month that I missed on the parlay for y'all. So I apologize.
Oh shit, I did hit a parlay. So 4-4, and we're up a unit. I hit the parlay. Rose Nami Eunice and Carl Williams 2 straight up plus 131. I forgot. So 4-4.
Solid. All right, so you made up for it. Yeah, bro. That's the first time I heard you have a parlay in a while.
Yeah. I'm not a parlay guy, but I got another one for the AC, baby.
Okay.
Before we get into our picks, there was Bellator Belfast.
Yes.
Interesting card. I thought. I just want to shout out Corey Anderson. He escaped the armbar early, and then he wind up grinding out. Jersey got a fucking champion. I'm happy. He won unanimous decision 49-46 times 2 and 50-45. Any thoughts on Corey Anderson?
It's been a while for overtime. There's levels. I love that, man. I always go back to that. And shout out Patricio Pitbull too, because without him getting that finish, I think the card would have been rather boring. So
yeah,
unfortunate for the Belfast crowd. But yeah, I went 3-2 for the event. So shout out Corey Anderson, New Jersey's own.
Patricio Pitbull, I mean, what a fucking fight. I mean, he defends the crown. He's legit. You think they put him against AJ McKee? AJ McKee's a fucking beast. They have to. They got to run it.
Yeah, and, he was on the poster without even being there. So that's probably next for them. It's probably going to be AJ versus Patricio for the belt. And I don't know. Do you know where they're going to have that champion series? The next champion series?
They
is
said
it Paris? Are we do it in Paris, or is that too soon?
I don't know. They have one every other week, or it seems like the PFL. So I don't know. He was on the MMA Hour, AJ McKee, on Monday, and Aroani asked him if he had any dates or any opponents lined up. I know he finished our boy Clay Collard very quick, and he goes, nope, no one's contacted me, but he said he wants to fight in the summer. But
well, I got Paris May 17th. That's a month. That's kind of a quick
yeah.
turnaround. Then I see back in Ireland for Dublin in June. That's possible.
Yeah. And then what's
It's had
July?
Jason Jackson and Ramazan Kurmagomedov. And then July, I don't really see anything. Their Champion Series is in San Diego in September, and then Champion Series London in September. I guess 2 events back to back there.
Yeah.
They could kind of, I guess they could kind of, they have it announced, but it just seems like not transparent. We talked about the transparency. They need to be clear with what their matchmaking is going to be and what's going to happen in the future. So,
yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But yeah, shout out Patricio Pitbull and Corey Anderson getting the job done. Let's do a quick ad read and then we'll get into these picks, Joe.
Yes,
Quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. It's just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry on the boardwalk in AC, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with the artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, first time in 6 years, the UFC is back in Atlantic City, baby. Boots will be on the ground. I am fucking pumped, Joe.
You gonna hit any casinos?
Oh, you want to hear my plan?
Go ahead, before we get into it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go down there a little Saturday afternoon, drive down, check in to the hotel, go to Margaritaville, get a nice drink, get some food, go to the blackjack table, and I'm right there, butt in the seat first fucking night. I'm not like one of these people that, I'm paying good money to go down there. I'm going to see every fucking fight, so I'll be on the boardwalk hall first fight until the last fight. And then from about, hopefully not too late, but around 12:30 to 1, I'm just going to be playing at the craps tables and blackjack, and I'm going to be grinding all night. We got a mission. We got to come up. Money Mercado, baby. We got to come up. So I'm going to be grinding to my Saturday night, kid. What do you think about those plans?
Yeah, I like it. It sounds like a good plan. Make sure you get your caffeine in, and
oh yeah,
make sure you don't drink too much at the fights. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course, no, responsible. Come on now, kid. And yeah, so prelims a little later, 7 p.m. Here on the East Coast. Main card starts at 10, and we got a banger first fucking night, kid. What do we got?
We do, yeah. UFC Atlantic City, as you said, you'll be there. She laid out the whole plan, the whole groundwork for what's going on. And we start in the bantamweight division between Angel Pacheco, big dog, to start us up at plus 285 against Cowlin Lorraine, minus 325. I think he has a lot of ground to cover here. I'm not on the board, but D-Rock, you said it. What's this first fight looking for you?
Oh man, gotta have action on the first fucking night. It's gonna be my first leg of a parlay. I'll explain it a little later towards the end, but yeah, Carl Locknane is my first leg. Little chalky, I know, is a steep minus 370 I was able to get, but I don't think Angel Pacheco is that good of a fighter, and I think he's gonna bounce back after that tough loss in the UK in his first fight, Carl Locknane. So gonna go Carl Locknane. He is my first leg of the parlay.
Sweet. Yeah, like I said, I think he's talented. It was a big level step up when he did join the UFC. A lot of people were expecting things from him, but sometimes when you have those high expectations, it leaves you disappointed. But I think the dude's got a lot of talent, and it's a good play to start it up. So we go right into the middleweight division. In the next fight, Andre Petroski as a plus 200 dog, surprisingly, taking on Jacob Malkoun as a minus $2 dog favorite. And I, once again, have no official play here. But tell us what we got in store. Are you going with the Philly native?
Give me the dog, Andre Petroski on the money line, plus 205. He's got to lead the dance in this fight. With his wrestling, he can get this fight to the ground. I don't think he should stand up and try to trade with Jacob Malkoun. He can't let Malkoun dictate the pace as well, because if he does that, I think he could get into some problems. But if he leads the dance, Andre Petroski, he gets this fight to the ground, he could do that. He's live here. So at plus 205, I'll take that all night. Give me the dog.
Yeah, man. And, he's a grinded out type of guy. And Malkoun as well. I think I saw the decision was favored in that one, but I mean, a finish is viable. I really do. I do think so. Petroski, I don't think he lost much steam. I know it was a knockout loss his last showing, but man, that means he didn't get worn out. So he could come into this one fresh. And I know Malkoun is going to have a long fight behind him. So that may play a factor. So I love the dog pick in the second fight of the night. And we move right into the women's flyweight division, where Victoria Dudikova as a plus 140 takes on Melissa Gatto at a minus 155. I've seen a lot of people like Melissa Gatto in this one. She seems in great, tremendous shape right now. But don't sleep on Dudikova. She's got a good record. I still think she's undefeated. So, sometimes you say that O's got to go, but sometimes that undefeated record speaks for itself. So I'm staying clear of this one. No official play from me. And I heard you have no official play any longer.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, nothing for me.
Do you favor maybe the decision? You think it goes the distance in that one?
I do. It is favored to go all 3 rounds, rightfully so. But I was leaning Melissa Gatto as well. Like for the fight to go to distance, minus 175. I do think it goes all 3 rounds. I think Melissa Gatto is the better striker here. I was just having a tough time fading our girl Dudikova. So stayed away.
Well, I think it's smart right there. So we'll go right into the next fight. In the light heavyweight division, Ibo Aslan as a minus 125 favorite takes on Anton Turkaley plus 110. The pleasure man returns, and I'm not getting any pleasure out of this one. So I'm staying clear once again. No official play for me, but to be honest, it was enjoyable seeing the pleasure man get knocked out last time by Tyson Pedro, right? So we saw Tyson Pedro retire. And man, if you get knocked out by a guy who's pretty much 1 foot out the door, I don't think much of it in this one. I would definitely hope for Aslan to get the job done, but I didn't want to touch it or lean it. So no official play for me.
I do want to see what walkout song the pleasure man walks out to. It always has like a good vibe to him. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. Maybe it'll be all smiles, but then we'll see what happens if he does get chinned or not.
Till he gets cracked.
Yeah. Let's go right to the featherweight division. And hometown dude, Dennis Buzukja, minus 120, Albania's own, is finally on his own turf, taking on Connor Matthews, the controller, at plus 110. I got no official play, my man, but I'll be honest with you. I know I had high hopes for Buzukja back in the day. I like where he trains out of. Pretty sure it's Serra-Longo. Am I wrong? I know he's a New Jersey cat, but I'm pretty sure he's out of Serra-Longo. Or if not Law, maybe, with Weidman on the same card. Man, he might be having a lot on his back. He needs to get this win. If he doesn't, I think you're going to cut him. But Connor Matthews, I think, is a good spot to pick the dog in this one. I do. I think he might live up to his nickname, and he might control the entirety of the fight. So the dog might be live in that one, but I don't have an official play. I wanted to stay clear of that one.
Yeah, I didn't touch this. I am rooting for Dennis Buzukja, local guy, trains out of Serra-Longo. I'm rooting for him. He's a tough son of a bitch. Over 1.5, I was looking at. It's a little chalky at minus 150, minus 160. I kind of stayed away from it, but Dennis Buzukja doesn't quit. He bites down on his mouth guard, and even though he's not winning, he could still last a little while. So I was looking at over 1.5. That's kind of the only lean I had for this fight.
Absolutely, my man. And we'll go right into the next fight. And I saw there was a little bit of movement from here on out. Some of the card got moved. Some of the fights got situated where they are. And in the featherweight division, we have Tiger Schulman's own Julio Arce, minus 395. I'm looking at him. He might be the biggest favorite on the card against Herbert Burns at plus 320, $3 dog, depending on where you see. And I'm going to just straight up say I do have an official lean on the biggest favorite on the card, Julio Arce, hometown guy fighting alongside another hometown girl, Elmwood Park. I know different gyms, but still, they're in our neck of the woods. And we've seen him before. Julio Arce has competed with the who's who of the division and sometimes come out on the, wrong end of split decision losses. But we saw Herbert Burns crying the last time out. And I know we love Gilbert and the Burns brothers, but I think it's a tough one.
Speak for yourself.
It's tough to back him in this spot. It really much is.
Yeah.
So I think Arce's definitely the play. It depends on how you want to take it. And so since I'm taking him straight up on the money line and there's no value on that, it's too chalky. I'm just leaning him officially. So Julio Arce
Nice.
all the way. Yeah. Let's go into what I see could be the co-main event of the prelims, if you would, in the
Yep.
strawweight, the women's strawweight division. Island boy, Verna Jandiroba. Who doesn't love Jandiroba? I mean, honestly, plus 170 dog, but she's going against a fan favorite and my personal favorite, and also most improved fighter of the year, as we talked about at the beginning of this new year. Lupita Lupi Godinez is a minus $2 favorite. And I'm going to give it to you, my man. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, give me our girl Lupi Godinez. She is a beast. I'm so excited to see her fight in person. Verna Jodina, she's tough. I do like her. She's a fan favorite. She's such a sweetheart. She's tough, and she's good off her back. You know, I don't think she'll get finished by Lupi, but I do think Godinez should be able to control this fight, get her down. Even I think she's a better striker as well. She's part of my parlay. So she is my second leg of my parlay, but I'll also give me Lupi Godinez to win via decision at minus 118. Like I said, Verona Jordimba is good enough. She's tough enough, and I think she's good off her back. So even if the fight does get to the floor, I think she'll last all 3 rounds. So give me Lupi Godinez to win via decision at minus 118.
Yeah, Jandiroba, if I can help you out. Yeah, Jandiroba. It seems difficult to pronounce, but it's not. It's not all that bad. And that's exactly what I had on my verdict predictions. I had Lupi Godinez via decision, but I'm taking her straight up on the money line. I know it's $2, a little chalky, but to me, it's still playable. And I like that the fact that you're incorporating on a parlay. Yeah, Verna's good off her back, but Lupi is such a good wrestler. So the fact that she's, grown leaps and bounds with her stand up and the way that she can control with the boxing range, if it does get into grappling exchanges, I think she could be the dominant one there because of her wrestling background. So yeah, Lupi all the way. You got me kind of going with, I want to make a parlay. I think I'm going to make something. I'm going to incorporate her as a first leg of a parlay as well. And I'll get to that at the end of all of our picks. So let's go. And now we're made it to the main event of the prelims, where in the featherweight division, we have Nate the Train Landwehr at plus 185, taking Pretty Boy Jamal Emmers as a minus $2 favorite as well. And I'm going to just come out and say it. I love Nate the Train. Look at that bicep. You know what I'm saying? if he don't lose, he's probably going to win. And everything he says is the absolute truth. But, man, Jamal Emmers might be exactly that. He might be the truth. I'm going with Pretty Boy straight up on the money line at minus 200 here. I think he's super skillful. I think anywhere the fight goes, I think he's going to have the advantage, unless the Train is putting the punishment on him and driving him to the canvas and making him feel the hurt. But Jamal Emmers coming off that last fight, Jack Jenkins going to fight before. He should have won that. Remember that fight with Jack Jenkins? It was on ABC? Yeah. Man, Jamal Emmers did win that fight. I don't think Jack Jenkins did win that. So, man, going back to it, he should be on like a 10-fight winning streak if you really look at it. If you look at Jamal Emmers' couple of decision losses and the fights where he should have been victorious, he really could be on a 10-fight win streak. So I think he's skillful. I like to see him be a big name in Nate Landwehr here. We know where we do like him as a personality and also as a fighter, but I'm going to just go take my heart out of it and go with my brain and take Jamal Emmers in this spot.
Yeah, Joe, I know we both love Nate the Train, but I agree. I can't take him in this spot. Give me Jamal Emmers straight up. I got him at minus 165. I do see it's a little cheaper in some places, so shop around. But I agree. I think he's better everywhere, in my opinion. And when you're fighting a guy that is more technical than you, that toughness that Nate the Train kind of leans on, it's not going to last against Pretty Boy Emmers. So, unfortunately, I got to take Jamal Emmers here. I'm a big Nate the Train guy. I love everything he says, but I just think he's running into a better fighter than Jamal Emmers. So we're on the same side. Give me Emmers straight up on the money line, minus 165.
Yeah, and I might as well just throw him into the parlay as well. So back-to-back fights, getting involved on the money line to get it on a parlay, both minus 200 to start. And now we move to the first fight of the main card. I think by this time you should be feeling yourself. You know what I'm saying? You get a couple wins under your belt. The lights start shining. You hear Bruce Buffer. Now it's time. Everyone starts filling in. Now the vibes start getting really into it the whole night. So, and that crowd's going to be rowdy. A lot of Philly people probably going to be out there. And like you said, it's been 6 years since Jersey has had a card in Atlantic City. So shout out them for bringing it back. Let's go into the welterweight division. Chitty Bang Bang and Jokiwani is a minus 140 favorite against Reese McKee at plus 175. I don't have an official play, but I will be leaning Bang Bang with the first round KO TKO because that's what he does. He gets those first round knockouts. But I have seen a lot of people take Reese McKee, and I don't blame them because overall game, I think he has good jiu-jitsu, and I think he is, in terms of technically, a better striker. But, man, sometimes you just can't get away from that right hand, and Jokiwani can hit you hard. So I'll lean with the prop with Chitty Bang Bang and Jokiwani, first round KO TKO. Shout out Anthony and Jokiwani, his brother.
Yeah, I like Chitty here as well. I like him dropping a weight class. I thought he was a little small at middleweight, coming down to 170. I do like the move for him. He's kind of been up and down in the UFC, but he does have tremendous power. And to be honest, Joe, I don't know if Reese McKee wants to be in the UFC. He gets rocked every single fight. I don't think he's good at all. If Chitty doesn't get taken down and keeps his fight on the feet, he should have no problem winning this fight. Chitty! Bang, bang, straight up, minus 135 on the money line. I think that's a very good play.
Not the best of luck in the UFC. Hamzat got absolutely destroyed in Atlanta strike against him. Great White lost the decision. Then he fights Angelus on his return and loses there. If he loses this fight, and if he loses it via first round knockout, the UFC won't be calling him back after this. So, yeah, we both got Chitty on that one. And we move right into the next fight. I think this is going to be a really good one. I'm excited for this one. Senor Perfecto always brings it. In the featherweight division, we got Bill Algeo, a minus 235 favorite. Watch out, though, man. Kyle the Monster Nelson at plus 105 is sneaky, but I got to go with the favorite here. I like Bill Algeo. I think he's going to play his game. I do think if he winds up in precarious positions, I think he is decent enough in those defensive positions to find a way to get to the advantage and maybe even tap him. I got to play him on the money line because it is a little chalky. Kyle Nelson, though, man, seeing him last time out, I think he surprised a lot of people. And he's making a lot of people money. Anyone putting money on him as the dogs he's been, they're making you money, but maybe the buck stops here with Bill Algeo because the level of competition that he's fought just is leaps and bounds higher than what Kyle Nelson has. So Senor Perfecto be the third leg of my parlay. A lot of favorites to go in the parlay, but that's why we got to do it. We got to make some money.
Yeah, great fight here, Joe. I think it could be fight of the night. I love our big boy, Bill Algeo. Love how he fights. And respect Kyle Nelson. I agree. Respect him for getting his career back. He's won 2 fights in a row now. He's in a good spot with the UFC. However, I do think Bill Algeo will be too much for him. His pacing, his striking, his fighting IQ is just way better than Kyle Nelson. I'm going to take him straight up. He'll be in my parlay as well. It's a 3-leg parlay for Bill Algeo, Lupi Godinez, and Lochrain, all straight up, plus 161.
Yeah, we could have measured it if he got that fight with Bill Algeo because Billy Quarantillo, that's kind of like the MMA math of the whole thing. But, he got finished in the third round by Billy Q. So Kyle Nelson is susceptible to those situations, as I said. So, yeah, we're on the same side yet again. Let's hope it works out for us. And
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Let's move right into the next fight in the middleweight division. Nursultan Rizoboyev.
Can I buy a vowel?
Against Cedric Dumas. Minus 245 is black. Dumas is a plus 220 dog. I think Ruziboyev could get it done. I really do. I'm gonna just straight up say I'm gonna take him on the money line yet again. I got him on my verdict predictions, getting the first round submission because that's how Dumas has lost a lot of his fights via first round submission. So sometimes history repeats itself, and I think it does here. What you got?
Yep. No, nothing in this fight.
Oh, all right. Yeah. But well, I guess we'll move right on. That was a quick little breakdown of that one. I mean, Dumas has broken some hearts. I know he broke Cody Brundage's heart a little while back, so that was a tough watch.
I just wouldn't take Dumas. He's going through a lot of legal trouble as well. Maybe a lot of stuff going on in his personal life. So it'd be a good time to fade him.
Yeah, and I think that's why. And I think the other dude is actually legit. We saw him in his debut. He looked explosive. And so I think a round 1 win, maybe not even just trying to get him the submission, is viable. I think he can knock him out too. But I'm playing him on the money line just because maybe it makes the judges' scorecards. So And that's going to be another part of the parlay. So we got all these $2 favorites on my so far forward leg parlay, and I think it's only be growing. But let's go into the featured bout of Atlantic City, where in the middleweight division, Chris All-American Weidman at a plus 225 dog takes on Bruno Silva at a minus 240 favorite. My man, D-Rock, I'm passing it over to you. What do you have in this featured bout?
Yeah, Bruno Silva 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He's done a decent job defending takedowns. I do think this is a better matchup for Chris than Brad Tavares was in his last fight. If Chris gets his fight to the ground, Silva does absolutely nothing off of his back. We know how good of a wrestler Chris is, and we've seen how tough he is in his last fight, not getting finished. He's still durable, so give me over 1.5 rounds at minus 136. I think Chris Weidman could, it's kind of a feel out process in the first round. And, I don't think he's going to get his legs kicked off like he did in his last fight. So I'm going to go over 1.5 rounds. And I'm going to sprinkle on Chris Weidman to get the finish late in the fight. I think he gets the takedown, and I think we see some hammer fists land late. Give me Chris Weidman via KO TKO at 14-1.
Wow. Man, bold take. I'm on the opposite side in terms of how he gets it done. I'm on the same side. I got Chris Weidman straight up on the money line at plus 22.5. He's my dog, and he's my boy. Just as his father said, that's still my boy. Don't matter. Man, I remember Chris Weidman in the prime of his career, man. This might be the final fight, and you're going to get a chance to see him. Win or lose, this is very well maybe the last time we see Chris Weidman. I don't know what he said behind the scenes, but I love Chris Weidman with all my heart, and I'm seeing that all the losses that Bruno Silva mostly has, and he's been finished, have come via submission, whether in the first or second round. I think Chris Weidman has a lot of first or second round submissions. So if you can utilize the wrestling early, it's a clash of styles. Bruno Silva is going to try to knock him out, try to throw those leg kicks, hurt that compromised legs. And I think Weidman has come a long way from that injury he suffered against Uriah Hall. But my man, I think it's Weidman's time to win and go out riding in the sunset. And you're going to have a chance to see that. So my verdict prediction is all my XP on Chris Weidman with the first round submission, but I'm taking him straight up on the money line. But yeah, I that's what I'm seeing. Bruno Silva is probably going to get tapped in this if he can't knock out Chris Weidman. So Chris Weidman, that's my boy.
I will say he went on the MMA Hour this week, and he said that, he was contemplating his first fight as a pro was in Atlantic City. It'd be a nice full circle kind of moment for him to retire. And he said, after last fight, I just couldn't put any pressure on it. But he's had this new supplement that he's been having and taking some pills, and he's been really bouncing off those legs really good. And he said he's nowhere near to retire. He thinks he has another 2-3 fights in him. So I love it. I'm all for more Chris Weidman, if I'm being honest.
And like you said, he fought his first Ring of Combat in Atlantic City. Guess how it was? Round 1 submission. It would be storybook if he gets that round 1 submission yet again. And I know it would hurt some of your plays, but that's what I'm hoping for. I'm really hoping for a Chris Weidman submission in the first round.
He hasn't been good in the tri-state area or the Northeast, like Boston. He hasn't done well at TD Garden. The Mecca, he hasn't really done well. Newark, I think he won, but 5-0 at AC.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go. All right, and now we made it to the co-main event of the evening for UFC Atlantic City in the welterweight division. Vicente Luque was supposed to be the main event. Minus 115. Credit to him for sticking in because he's fighting a game. Joaquin Buckley at plus 125. D-Rock, take it away. What you got in the co-main event?
Yeah, it should be a very close fight here, especially according to the odds, kind of a pick 'em right now. I feel like people kind of fell off or got off of the Vicente Luque train. After he got knocked out by Jeff Neal, he came out, said, he had a problem with his brain. He wanted to take some time off. Then he fucking goes out for 5 rounds and dominates a Hall of Famer in RDA. He looked fantastic in that fight. And on the other side, Buckley, he's a good striker. We know he has power, but he just hasn't fought the level of competition Vicente Luque has. I'm surprised, actually, Joe, by this number. We've seen Buckley get knocked out before. I think Luque is the cleaner, more technical boxer. Maybe not striker, but boxer. He has the advantage on the ground as well. I think we're getting a discounted rate on the much better fighter. So give me low-key, people don't know, but Vicente Luque has ties here in Jersey as well. Give me the Jersey boy, Vicente Luque, on the money line, minus 112.
But he's not staying in Jersey. He is flying from Brazil. So I got Numansa in this co-main event slot. I think he's found his home at welterweight. I know we were saying that maybe with Kevin Holland at the welterweight spot, but hasn't worked out well for him. But it's working out so far for Buckley at 170. And Vicente Luque, you look at his fight previous of that RDA fight, you know, he's dropped a couple. I know it's Jeff Neal and it's Bilal Muhammad, high level competition that you spoke of, but man, Buckley's got to prove himself here. He's got to prove his worth. And on the money line as a dog, I got to take him. I think that he can match him in the stand up. The issue is if he's going to have to work off his back. Vicente Luque is going to, like you said, maybe rain down some ground and pound. So he's got to avoid that positioning. But maybe Buckley can utilize a little wrestling of his own. I mean, you never know. You know, Luque's getting up there in age, and Buckley's in the prime of his career, so that could play a factor. The shorter plane ride could play a factor. You know, all that can. Let's hope that Buckley isn't, you know, like out there, like maybe partying. Hopefully he's committed and he wants to get a win over Luque, because if he does, that's going to, you know, propel him into the top of the division. So I got a lot of hope for Buckley. We saw him with the highlight reel KO, maybe one of the greatest, you know, like viral ones of all time. Let's see if he can maybe duplicate it here against Luque. I mean, that would, getting a win over a name like Luque would be fantastic for his career. So plus 125, I got him. And I didn't mention, no, I'm gonna keep the two dogs out of the parlay. I think I'm just gonna incorporate the next fight, the main event of the evening. So let's go into it. In the flyweight, the women's flyweight, we spoke about it before. We kind of had a lot of preview going into it. Erin Blanchfield is a favorite. Started out very close to pick 'em, I think, but now she's huge money's coming in on her. She's about a $2 favorite, but I have her at minus 185 against Manon Fiorot, plus 160. And, you know, it's a clash of styles yet again in this one, as we saw in the featured bout. Fiorot's going to want to keep this standing. She's going to play her game, deny the takedown, sprawl and brawl, if we will. And Erin Blanchfield's going to want to avoid that because, you know, Fiorot is a world-renowned kickboxer, world champ at that. So a lot of people have plays up for her because Erin Blanchfield, if it stays standing, her striking isn't nearly as clean as Fiorot's is. But she's game, man. She's a dog. Erin Blanchfield, if you haven't seen her, when she gets into the exchanges, she toughs it out. She's willing to take a punch to deliver one every single time she gets in there. And with all her history of wrestling, all her history of jiu-jitsu, you know, she could do it. You know, shout out MK Muay Thai, shout out Silver Fox. I mean, she's training with dogs day in and day out. And this, like I said, it's not like she isn't seeing really good striking and is able to overcome that and find a way to play her game, which is to take you down and submit you. And that's exactly what I have. She's going to live up to her nickname, Erin Blanchfield, cold-blooded submission at plus 250. Back-to-back weekends with the plus 250 going to hit for you. What you got, my boy?
Yeah, title eliminator, Joe. I know Erin Blanchfield is our girl. She is our future pick to be the champ at the end of the year. But I'm going the other way. Give me Manel Fiore here as a dog, plus 160. You know, this was either going to be a dog or pass type fight for me. I thought Erin should be the favorite. She deserves to be a favorite, but almost a 2-1 favorite now. Yeah, I don't know about that, especially going 0 for 14 in her last fight on takedowns, which is her bread and butter. Now her striking, let's call it what it is. It's a little above average on a good night. It's good enough to get her takedowns. The question I keep asking myself is, Erin just going to go out there and wrestle and dominate Fiore, which no one has been able to do? I find that hard to believe. She has good takedown defense, and she actually has more takedowns than Erin does in their last two fights. So I don't know. I think Fiore, she's going to be the better striker. She's going to be physically the stronger, bigger woman. Even if she gets taken down, I think she could get up like she did when she fought Jennifer Maia. I think her cardio is going to be there, and if she could keep this fight on the feet, she's live. Give me the dog. It goes against everything we've been talking about, but
what'd you say? More. I didn't hear a word you said, to be honest with you, bro.
It's all good. Give me Manel Fiore straight up plus 116.
No, I did. I'm just fucking with you.
And I know. And give me I'm sprinkling a Manel Fiore via decision at plus 275.
Okay, that's fair. She's about a 50-50 split with her KO, TKOs, and decision wins. You know, barely getting past a Rose Namajunas, which people argued that she won, who's undersized 125-pound fighter, scares me. Dude, that's why I think she's a dog for a reason in this spot. And she's old. Like we talked about father time, bro, mother time in her regards to this. 34 years old. I know it's not the 35 mark, but man, you're going against everything that we stood for, and that's why I just kind of blanked out there. But I do respect you for keeping it real and going with who you think is the better striker. And like you said, every round does start standing. But on my verdict predictions, I have the second round submission for Erin Blanchfield. If she can get out of the first round, I think she's going to dog out if Manon Fiorot, and she's going to wind up winning an AC, and she's going to get her title shot.
Joe, good luck. The winner will get a title shot. I believe that wholeheartedly, especially if Manon Fiorot wins. Joe, good luck. It's going to be a hell of a time. Send you some pictures. Can't fucking wait to touch down in AC. Just 2 days.
Try to get one more Weidman for me, my boy, please.
Yeah, definitely try to. Let's talk about some news that broke during the week. Cody Durden is back. UFC 303 International Fight Week, June 29th, taking on Carlos Hernandez. You like this for Cody Durden?
Did you hear the headliner? Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler.
That's what he said, but I'm waiting.
Bro, he's just trying to get views onto it. And Carlos Hernandez is good. I think it's a dogfight, more of attrition. It's going to be a late round finish in that one. I don't think it makes it to the judges. I think someone's going to get finished.
Yeah. And we got a main event, 5 rounds, UFC Vegas 92. Definitely wrong. I don't know if it's 92, but May 18th, it's a fight night. Edson Barboza will take on Laurent Murphy. What a banger of a fight. 5-round main event. Yeah, I love this fight.
I love that fight. A lot of people don't like it because they're, I guess, more thinking about Edson Barboza's career, but we got to think about Laurent Murphy's career. The dude has won that many fights consecutively, and a win over a name like Edson Barboza propels him to the top of the heap yet again. I know that's by my word of the night, the top of the heap, but every weekend I'm going to come up with something that I'm going to keep hammering home. But yeah, dude, we all love Edson Barboza and what he offers, but man, this is going to prove a lot for Laurent Murphy. I'll be honest with you. I know it sounds weird, but Laurent Murphy via decision. It sounds boring, but regardless if he makes it to the judges' scorecards, he can still put on a super entertaining fight. So,
we saw this last.
Yeah. You got to get it through a killer. Yeah.
I was just gonna say we thought the same thing against Sadiq Youssef, and then here comes Edson Barboza winning those championship rounds, just pulling the dog out of him. I mean, every time we doubt this guy, he comes and proves us wrong. So I don't know. I'm gonna be very cautious. I mean, interested to see what the line winds up being, but putting his number 11th ranked featherweight number on the line against number 14 Laurent Murphy. But yeah, biggest name of his career by far, Laurent Murphy.
Yeah,
who he's going to be fighting.
Great point with the Edson bringing out the dog in him.
Unfortunate news. Brandon Moreno has announced he's going to be taking a break from fighting for the time being. He posted like an 8 or 9 minute video on his Instagram, revealed he's been feeling overwhelmed mentally recently with, the pressure of fighting, being a champ for so long. He said he's not retiring, just a break, but yeah, kind of interesting. What are your thoughts on Brandon Moreno taking a break?
Yeah, he's been on the rough side of a lot of losses. Even the quadrilogy with Figgy, it probably took a lot out of him. And he's inconsistent. We've seen it in the past. So I think maybe if he puts together time away, time with his family, can reassess some things for his life and his career, he can come back strong and maybe get more consistent. So that's the only thing we can hope for him, because he's a fan favorite, massive Mexican superstar. The whole country loves him. So, and a lot of USA, I think around the world, love Brandon Moreno. But if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right, because I do have a lot of people with opposing opinions as well. So it don't matter. Brandon Moreno, smart man for taking the time off, give his brain some rest. A lot of the weight cutting too. I think he's not necessarily a bigger 125-pound guy, but the weight cuts do something to you. So
100%.
He could just kind of eat, chill out, and come back when he feels right.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to still be training. It's just not going to be to the extreme magnitude of probably a fight camp. So yeah, I think more fighters should do that. I think not a lot of fighters, take mental health very seriously, and they just want to fight and fight and fight. But sometimes your body is sending you a message. You need a break. So yeah, I'm happy he's not retiring, but happy he is taking the break that he's needed. We're seeing Izzy do it right now. Izzy hasn't fought in a while. He's taking a little break. UFC 302 rumored to be in Newark, hopefully June 1st. But Roman Dolidze will take on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. love this fight for fucking Hernandez.
Yeah, he's the Roman Emperor killer. He fought Roman Kopylov, and now he's fighting Roman Dolidze. I'd be favoring Fluffy. I like him as a fighter. I like him personally. Not that I dislike Roman Dolidze. I actually like that dude a lot.
I was about to say.
Yeah, but Fluffy is a dog, man. The way a lot of guys in jiu-jitsu, they got the gaps in their ears, like the gauges, and he has them as well. So he tapes his ear up, and those dudes are just dogs. So like he's game wherever the fight goes. Fluffy's putting together a great resume, and if he gets a win past Roman Dolidze, man, watch out. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, you were talking about Garrett Armfield. He got a fight June 15th at a fight night against Brady Heastan. He liked this fight for Garrett Armfield.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I would favor Garrett Armfield, and surprisingly so. I think he gets the job done inside the distance. I think he's explosive. Brady Heastan, I liked him. I liked him as well when I saw him. I think he was it wasn't the last tough. It was tough though. It was a previous tough. I'm pretty sure he fought for the Ultimate Fighter, Brady Heastan.
Yeah, he did.
But I think I'm gonna go with Garrett Armfield. I think he's explosive, and I think if you look at his career, he's gotten a lot of finishes. It's just as of late they've gone to decisions. So with the finish, it kind of propels him a little more.
Yeah, your boy Luke Rockhold. He's taking on kickboxer veteran Joe Schelling. He signed with Karate Combat 45. April 20th, they will be fighting. You like this move for Luke at his stage in his career? And what are your thoughts? Because educate me a little bit. I don't know too much about the rules or anything about Karate Combat.
Well, they fight in a pit, 45-degree walls. So there's really nowhere to go. Kind of ideal for submission grappling, if you would. And he's got a tough matchup because the rule sets are actually going to favor. And granted, Luke Rockhold's got great kicks. Question mark kick, probably the best in history. And he fought bare knuckle and went toe to toe with Mike Perry, so he's not going to be afraid to take a punch, even though Mike Perry makes everyone tap out. That's not Luke Rockhold. That's more Mike Perry in that regards. But Joe Schilling, like 6 to 7-time Glory Kickboxing World Champion. Like Joe Schilling is legit, bro. That is a matchup and rule set that favors Joe Schilling. And both of them I know are older in age, but this is a fan favorite fight. Regardless if you say they're older in their careers, let them fight if they're still able to do so. It's not like, seeing like old men fight or anything like that. These dudes are still super in shape and athletic, and I wish I could throw a head kick the way that they do. At their age, they're able to do that. Their flexibility and dexterity is next level. So, yeah, I think it's a great fight for both guys. But watch out. Joe Schilling is no slouch. The dude is one of the most legit kickboxers we've ever seen. He beat Jason Wilness, and Jason Wilness is the only guy to have beaten I think he beat Izzy and he beat Alex Pereira. So, yeah, Joe Schilling is legit.
Can we bet on this?
Probably so. I don't know what the odds are doing with Karate Combat, but if you haven't watched any of their productions, definitely do so. Yeah, Big Mike does commentary now. He's doing a great job. George St. Pierre and Boss Ruin, Robin Black, shout out. I mean, that is a great commentary team. We can't deny all these commentary teams for the PFL, for Bellator, for Karate Combat, for One, Mitch Chilson. Like, I love all these guys. Like, they're doing such a great job. I really got to shout all of them out.
Big news, UFC Saudi Arabia. Dana White came on Twitter or Instagram Live. He released the whole main card. UFC Saudi Arabia will go down June 22nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Headlined by the boogeyman himself, Khamzat Chimaev taking on Bobby Knuckles. What a fucking fight. Co-main. Big Russians going at it. Sergey Pavlovich taking on Alexander Volkov. Now, I know earlier in the week it was reported Alexander Volkov was taking on Jolton Almeida at 302 in Newark. According to reports and everything that I read, that was 100% legit. The UFC made a switch. Almeida is still expected to remain on UFC 302. They're going to search for a new opponent. I like the switch, though. I like Alexander Volkov and Sergey Pavlicek. They also got Kevin Gastelum taking on D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez, like Johnny Walker taking on Volkan Ozdemir. What a fight that's is.
A fight, yeah.
Ihor Putera. Joe, I do not know how to announce this guy's name.
Sarabutin Magomedov? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's a fucking banger of a fight.
Yeah.
Out of those 5 fights, obviously the main event is probably the best, but I can't wait for that Volkan Ozdemir and Johnny Walker fight.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great fight. Yeah, someone's going to sleep. I'll be real with you in that one. 100% someone's going to sleep there. I mean, honestly, we get to see the bullet, and Sharaputin might be a superstar in the making with one eye. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen it before. Mike Bisping became champion of the world with one eye, so that don't matter. And where I'm leaning in the main event, my boy.
I'll say this. Guess whose line is it anyway? Can you guess the opening line
for the main event?
Yeah,
Hamzat's definitely the favorite.
Spitball a number.
Oh, I hate to say it, but like minus 250.
No, not that steep.
Oh, not that steep. Minus 175.
No, opening odds comes out Chimaev minus 190, Bobby Knuckles plus 165.
So in the middle of where my 2 predictions were.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I honestly thought Chimaev would open up a 2-1 favorite at least.
That's what I was thinking, man. But bro, Bobby Knuckles, if I know we saw him get taken out by DDP, but if you've seen his other fights with like Yoel, and he's not really known to take you all too much down and stuff like that. Anytime he's gone to grappling exchanges, bro, he's feisty, he's slippery. And if it gets later in the fight, it's absolutely going to favor him. Hamzat's kind of like a 1-round kind of guy. We saw him get drained in a 3-round fight against Usman. So
yeah,
man, I'm hoping for Bobby Knuckles. I hate to say, because I had high hopes for Hamzat, and I had him as my middleweight champion by the end of the year. I'm going to go with what you did today, and I'm going to say Bobby Knuckles gets the job done.
Dana White also did say that this is a number 1 contender fight. Winner will get the next shot at 185. I don't know how I feel about that, Joe, if I'm being honest, because you got Izzy there. And then the last news that I have is the UFC also announced that 305 is in Perth at the Rack Arena.
That's what it's probably going to be.
August 17th. Now, the main event will probably be Izzy versus DDP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the winner of Chimaev and Bobby Knuckles, it kind of lines up next for those two, right?
Yeah.
Are you mad that Chimaev is he's skipping the line, but rightfully so. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC, and I know he only fights once a year, and he tough time coming to the States, but he's one of the best prospects I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and he's a massive draw too. The international audience that he has, it's going to sell pay-per-views, and that's why he got that main event slot. And it's a non-pay-per-view event, but the fact of the matter is that it's going to segue if he does wind up beating Bobby Knuckles to fight for the title, beating ex-champ that Bobby Knuckles was, and to me, he's always once you're champion, always a champion is. That's going to propel him. And I know we were saying maybe. Robert Whittaker versus Sean Strickland could have been the play, but I know a lot of people are going to dislike this. The fact that the matter is that Sean's probably going to weigh in as the backup for that 305 because I think it's going to happen. It's going to be Izzy versus DDP because there's a lot of bad blood there, and regardless,
you could sell it.
You could sell it regardless of what you think if Sean deserves a rematch or if he deserves the fight with Bobby or whatever the case may be. He's a perfect candidate to weigh in as a backup because he's got beef with both of those guys. So Sean weighing as a backup would say, yeah, absolutely. I'll fly down there and I'll be ready to fight whoever, if I'll fight in the street, I'll fight in the parking lot if you want me to. So that's Sean Strickland in a nutshell for you. And you could also have him in the weights for whatever happens with the Bobby Knuckles and Hamzat fight, because you can also grant Sean Strickland a title fight against Izzy or DDP.
I agree. I think the best way to go is make him the backup fighter for 305 in Perth. Go back to where you won the belt, and it's still an opportunity for you to stay on weight and make a little extra cash for yourself. If you stay on weight, you make weight. Here, Dana White will give you some money. I agree. I don't think he actually just tweeted out today the quote 3 hours ago. The UFC fans want me and Drakus to settle it. Drakus wants to settle it. We all know I fought a dirty liberal who fucked me. Dana knows it. The UFC knows it. If it was anyone else on the roster, the rematch would have happened. Do the right thing, UFC. Do you think he has it? Yeah, on brand, absolutely. But do you think he has a case? Because I really don't. I thought he lost. I really did.
And other people would argue that. So I do think he has a case, but at the end of the day, it's what the UFC wants to do. And Sean's that nutty that he would be like, yeah, let's do it. And it's gonna sell too. I think more eyes, maybe from the American audience, would want to tune in if they know Sean's gonna be there, and the embedded's gonna be highly watched, and just the total package, and it just sets him up as well. I mean, and I think he'd be like, hey, if Hamzat does beat Bobby, I know we said that maybe Sean deserved to get the title shot, whoever wins out of that, but let's say that Izzy beats DDP, most likely they'll throw a rematch there. And I know that hurt. That's like, why didn't you give it to Sean then to begin with? Sean be like, then let me fight this fucking guy. Let me fight Hamzat. So
yeah,
you do that.
Oh, it's going to be insane. But yeah, that's all the news that I had. UFC 305, like I said, it's going to take place at the RAC Arena in Western Australia, August 17th. No 10 seconds left, but quick announcement on the end of the show. We'll be recording 2 times a week now instead of just Friday. Friday's going to remain the same, usually around 1:15 p.m. here on the East. But we're recording a recap episode and PFL, and there are going to be other events throughout the week that we will have action on. And we'll just be giving out more content. So we're gonna be recording Sunday night, and will be released Monday morning for your guys' travels to work Monday morning. So you'll have a lot of time to get our content, to listen to the recap, to give out some plays for PFL during the week. And then Fridays are just going to remain the same for Saturday's event. But yeah, just trying to divvy out and space everything out and give more content and more picks for you guys. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know so you're not confused that we got 2 episodes going per week. But Joey,
loaded weekend for you, my boy. Opening day tomorrow and then Atlantic City. Oh man.
I'm going to be on a bender. So yeah, I got Thursday opening day tomorrow for the Mets, Friday. Going out Friday night, then waking up early, getting down to AC, gonna spend the whole night awake, and then driving up for Sunday for Easter. You gotta fucking love it, kid.
You gotta love it, yeah. And I'm glad we're doing that that recap episode on Sunday now. Like you said, if you will still be live Sunday night, so if you're at home, nothing to do, tune in for some plays, and then you can hear on the car ride in the morning if you need. And then Fridays we're back at it. So a lot more action for you guys.
Hell yeah. I appreciate it, Joe. That is going to do it for this Friday edition of Axe Kick Picks. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Joey, myself, make sure you guys go follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at Axe Kick Picks. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Like I said, we go live every Friday and now every Sunday night on youtube.com/Axe Kick Picks Live. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review. Comment below who you guys got for UFC Atlantic City. Hey, and if you're out there, make sure you guys come say hello. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Good luck on your wagers this weekend. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.
See you Sunday.